gentlemen, my name is Brett. I'm talking today about the Princeton Reverb amp from Fender Musical Instruments Mega Corporation. This is a 65 reissue. There's nothing remotely remarkable about this particular instance of this thing. Really what I wanted to do today was ask the question, does it shred? Right? JVM, it shreds. Rectifier head, it shreds. Cool little 5E3 back here in the corner that my buddy John Wilworth made out of an old PA head. Shreds! We'll deal with that later. This bad boy over here, I got it. Yeah, this shreds too. But there's this thing. Usually, you know, people prescribe this this amp as, you know, blues, country sort of thing. I guess a lot of the indie guys like them with a bunch of effects, which is really cool. But again, does it shred? That's the question we want to ask. So on the floor, I've got a little bit of delay coming from a Line 6 DL4 Mark II. Vintage digital setting. There's a jazz note. So just, you know, you get enough reverb and delay on anything, you're going to be able to get some work done. But if I kick in a compressor, let's see if we can make it a little easier. So here's the JHS3 compressor. The volume's at noon. The other two knobs are at about 3 o'clock, and the bright switch is on. Attack down a little bit, see if we get a little softer response out of this thing. So, all right. In terms of clean sounds, compressor helps. But yeah, what about distorted sounds? Let's try, I've got a Big Muff Pi Green Russian, so this is the reissue from Electro Harmonics. This is my favorite fuzz pedal. I'm going to give it a little more volume. Let's see if we can get it to shred. That qualifies. Let's get an even shreddier sound with a tube screamer in front of it. The tuba screamer! It's the good Lord's overdrive. I wear a shirt bearing its resemblance currently. It shreds, it also reverbs. I don't know if you noticed. Alright, so you can put a dirt box in front of anything and get a good kind of shreddy sound out of it. But what can we get out of the amp itself? I'm going to turn the reverb down. We'll turn it on just a little bit. It's just barely there. So what I want to see is what can we get out of the amp with as little in front of it as possible to get a good kind of shreddy sound out of it. So right now the volume is on 3.5. If I hit the like a low E chord, nice and hard with this guitar. This is my Music Man Silhouette. This particular one has super distortions, and the lawn guy started up, so if you hear that, my apologies. So super distortion in the back, in the front, and a DiMarzio chopper in the middle. It's pushing the amp right now into a little bit of, I don't know, honky sounded overdrive. Not typically my thing. Let's see if we can overcome that. I'm going to put it on 5.5. Hey, suddenly we're getting a little bit of that kind of Angus-y sort of sizzle. Let's tube scream it and see what it does. So the thing with power tube distortion sounds like this is that they just kick ass for rhythm sounds like this. How about, what does it do for lead sounds? You know, and if you're doing the Angus thing, the pentatonic stuff, it's great for that too. Not that that's anything Angus-y, but it's not what you consider shred typically. Alright, so let's give it a little juice here and see what we got. That is not bad. That is not bad. So from your blues, rock, country, pub gig amp, we're getting to some pretty rowdy sounds out of this thing. Again, it just takes the right gear. You got some pickups with a little bit of oomph and something in front of it. In my case, like I said, Tube Screamer is great for this application because specifically this has a 10-inch speaker. This is only 12 watts. The amount of power it takes to push low-end signal is immensely higher than that for, you know, your upper mid-range, your high-end. Hence, you know, why we have 150 watt, 100 watt monsters like these things. If you really need that big low-end sound, you got to have a lot of, I don't know, a lot of power behind it. Big transformers, big power tubes. I don't even know what's in this. What does it say? 2 groove tubes, 6 V6 output tubes. That's kind of what I think. A couple of 6 V6s. So the Tube Screamer cuts off a lot of that low end, so the amp isn't trying to push it. I've got the bass at 2.5. So generally on Fender amps, I will roll the bass all the way off. Mid-range all the way up, treble most of the way up, and then I'll turn up the bass until it gets a little bit of body, and I stop there, because otherwise you get this kind of rumbly, like, I don't know, bag of bricks falling down the stairs kind of breakup that I'm not a fan of. And I take it the amp probably isn't either. Alright, so we were on 5.5, let's go to 6.5. So remember, here's 5.5. 6.5. We're getting a little bit more. Alright, let's go back with the Tube Screamer. I'm going to turn the reverb off, or down a little bit, because a little goes a long way with when you have a lot of gain like this. into some shred territory. All right, no tube screamer. Let's go to 7.5. Let's go to 8. We're gonna live a little. I think maybe this is probably where we'll stop. That's just by itself. That's just the amp. With the TS. I would say the Fender Princeton Reverb amp from the Fender Musical Instruments Mega Corporation does indeed shred. It just takes, like I said, it takes the right gear, it takes the right approach. So I've been saying, you know, you gotta use humbuckers, you gotta use humbuckers. Well, you know, what happens if we use something else? I'm gonna step out of the shot for a minute. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm curious. Let's see what happens with a Fender Stratocaster, also from the Fender Musical Instruments Mega Corporation in California. Let's see. So this is just, you know, it's not a, this guitar's been modified quite a bit, but, you know, just nothing real crazy about the pickups. They are scatter wound single coils from by a guy named John Gallup at Dogtown Pickups in the fine state of Wisconsin, where he keeps bees and does other things. All right, so let's go back there. Let's go back to 8. Let's hear what she does with the Stratocaster. Does it tie tabor? Which is always a question on my mind. Porcupine Tree song, I don't remember. Pretty cool. All right. How's that song go? I gotta stop playing songs I don't remember. High tabors. Let's see, let's try some front pickup stuff. Does it ingay? Let's see. Yeah, it kind of ingbays too. I think I like it for this particular sound. I think I like it better with the Music Man, with the humbuckers. But you know, one thing the Strat will do that the humbuckers won't is this. Nothing? Alright, well, I tried. No magic note there. Let's try the big wreck, a place to call home thing. Let's see, how much rack am I going to get? Okay, that's not too bad. A Princeton. Now I do have a 112 extension cabinet hooked up here with a Weber Blue Dog 100. So that is definitely helping to carry a lot of that low end. There's actually a really solid amount of low end. With the Green Russian and the Octave Fuzz. If you haven't heard, there's a song by Big Wreck called A Place to Call Home that has this kind of vibe and like the thickest, meanest guitar sound I think I've ever heard in my life in the intro. It's just incredible. So anyway, that's my sort of alternate take on the Princeton. I think this amp is going to stick around. It's small, it's pretty lightweight, not that I'm really that concerned about that, but it sounds fantastic with different guitars. It'll do the blues, rock, bar gig thing, no problem. You will be able to play Brown Eyed Girl, Cheeseburger in Paradise, Jesse's Girl, 8675309. They're all in there. They're all in there. You can get it all with the Princeton. But at the same time, I think if you're especially jamming at home and you want heavy sounds, you can do it. It wouldn't be my first choice. Maybe I would go with for the money. They're $12.99 new. What's in that ballpark? $12.99. Maybe like EVH head if I'm going for heavy, and one of the 15 watt jobs. Or are they 30 watts? I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't remember what the line is in particular. But yeah, maybe I'd go that way. Or an orange, let's see, 13 hundo. Used Rock Reverb. It's not going to be necessarily like home levels, but let's see, what else? Orange. For half that, you could have the new Crush Pro 100, which seems to be pretty well reviewed. I don't have any experience with it myself personally, but I've had a bunch of orange amps, including some solid state stuff for theirs, and it's pretty good. The Princeton, in general, though, it's sonically better than those amps, in my opinion. Especially get some reverb going. Get a little bit of love going in the front end here. Let's dial in something nice and soupy. A couple of delays going here. I got a carbon copy also. There's kind of a thing happening. You're not going to get that out of those other amps. So I guess it really just depends on what your priorities are. If you're really, really, like all you do is heavy stuff, go for something that just does heavy. But this is a good all-around amp from blues, country, probably could do jazz with it. I'm not a jazz guy. rock, you know, early rock stuff. Of course, definitely early rock stuff. I mean, this is it. I mean, it's like, that's the sound. But like we showed, you can do some really cool modern heavy stuff with a Princeton too. I guess maybe the use case is you have a Princeton already, and you want some new sounds out of it. Well, hopefully I gave you a few today and didn't beat you over the head too much with my sloppy plan. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good one.